Boom. Let's go. Thursday Pickoff covers Josh Ingles, JNeil Parker today, and he's running the table. You needed one more run yesterday in a 5-3 game to go 3-0, back-to-back 3-0s, Neil. I don't know what you're going to do. All I know is you're 6-0 after 2 days, and you're only 2 units up. Slow and steady approach again today, bud, or what?
Pretty much. The one thing I did want to do strategically, it's almost like a card game, right? When you hold the trump card, I just wanted to take Jordan, Alonso, or Alvarez out of your options, and if you did take the home run,
I had to take a risk.
And I wouldn't lose the full 3-unit gap that could provide. So that was the only one strategic move I made. But otherwise, yeah, just pretty close to even money on 3 picks, 1+ money run line with the Reds. But we can get into it in time. But yeah, it's close. There's still 2 days to go here. So it's been a lot of fun, Jingles. It's been fun.
Lots of fun. Week 5 of the Pickoff pits me versus JNeil Parker. 3 picks a day, Tuesday to Friday. Winner of the week gets to do nothing. The loser of this, the one with the least amount of units, has to do the punishment that we spun on Tuesday. My punishment, I can't leave a bowling alley until I bowl 200. I plan to be there for over 3 hours. JNeil Parker, if he loses, and it's going to be next to impossible to lose if you don't lose a bet, he's got to hit 7-foot net from 75 yards out on 75 shots.
Hopefully I can do it in 75, or else it could be 188. Who knows? But
watching people struggle with a golf swing is incredible. Chat's loading up there. Good to see you guys. Didn't you already leave a bowling alley without bowling a 200? Oh, there's John Metler. Wow. Thank you, John Metler. Hey, John Metler, aren't you on vacation? Didn't I send you packing on vacation? Yes. You should still be walking. But no, I didn't do it because I had to pick up my children. That's an important thing. But sidetrack, we got to get going because we got 12-10 baseball. The books are going to be very angry if Jordan Alvarez just absolutely crushes today because everybody's backing on him. We've had 2 days to think about it because yesterday's was rained out, and a lot of these markets were getting better prices. So let's reel it in. Get him, Metler. You don't encourage John Metler in the chat. Jordan Alvarez home run plus 320. I had him in my market yesterday, but I was a little scared of the weather. I didn't want to lose a bet or just not even register a bet. So I left it off my card. But today I was getting a better price. And at the end of the day, you'll see Neil's on the same thing, just a little less aggressive. His numbers versus Chris Bassett are very telling. 5 home runs. He kills him. Just looked at a short of Chris Bassett talking to him as he walked from first. He's like, you're fucking killing me. The guy knows it. Bassett hasn't pitched well. There's a reason the Jays didn't have him. Wind's blowing. Yesterday, the wind was blowing out to center. Today, it's blowing out to right. That's a tough spot for left-handed hitters. Good spot for Alvarez. Absolute freak. I don't know if you've seen his metrics, like number 1 in basically every advanced statistic, every normal statistic. Might be the number 1. I think the bat has him as the number 2 hitter, still behind Judge. But this is a spot where we're going to absolutely love some bases from Jordan Alvarez. And I don't know what you have to pack on that, but you're going the safer route, as you should with the guy in the lead, just over 1.5 total bases. And this number is still nuts, by the way.
Yeah, and I got a great price on it, dash 102, I believe. But yeah, like I just, I lean on Woba quite a bit. ISO, Alvarez, 463 Woba, 338 ISO against right-handed pitchers this year. You touched on the Bassett factor. He's been brutal. He's given up major he's been crushed by left-handed hitters this year. 472 Woba, 246 ISO, and then obviously, as you mentioned, the head-to-head matchup. Alvarez has 1,598 OPS against Bassett in his career. So yeah, it's a good matchup, and maybe I'm not a big B versus P guy. Like, I mean, past results aren't always indicative of future results, but in this case, there's a pretty solid sample size here. And we also know that Bassett's velocity is down. He's got negative pitch values on 2 of his 3 most frequent offers for Fangraphs, right? So he's definitely not at his peak his powers. So yeah, it's a great matchup, a lot of familiarity, and yeah, it was a big important one for me to get in early to make sure that I figured you would go with.
I hadn't seen your plays. You put in your plays first. I hadn't seen them, but that was on top. So when I saw it there, I'm just like, that's going to go. Either I get a good lead, it will be a big difference, right? If he just gets his 3 bases, maybe gets his 2 doubles, no dinger, that would be tough on my end. But I hear you. But I'm going to double up on Chris Bassett here. Over 2.5 earned runs, even money. Now, the beautiful thing about this is, yes, Chris Bassett is awful. He has been terrible. 13 walks to 10 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. Like, he is not great right now. Coming off a 2 home run game at Kauffman Stadium, which is not a great home run park, and it's not a great home run hitting offense in the Royals. One really weird thing, and there's 2 things I picked up on. Obviously, I mean, the walk to strikeout ratio is awful. He's the first pitcher in a doubleheader, which means he might have to eat a couple more innings. Maybe not as much at the beginning of the year when they had yesterday off, but he could have to go a little more, right? You might have to see that full-time, third time through the order. The one thing I did notice, I'm like, how's he pitching in Baltimore? He had 1 bad game, 1 good game, and then you look at all his other stuff. He has gotten absolutely tagged, and I don't know whether it's at mound. I don't know whether it's just teams see him better there. He hasn't gotten 15 outs in Baltimore in years. He has a 1.018 OPS in Camden over 7 career starts. 32 innings pitched, 53 hits, that's gross, and 30 runs. He's gonna get eaten. He's gonna get eaten today. Hopefully it's not a Sagano situation like yesterday, but I like a run in the first inning. I'm on that. Minus 110. That's also in the card, not in the bet, but that's where I am here. And I hate when you're finding good numbers against me here because Bryce Harper, it's a good spot. I think Logan Webb's a little overrated. Some of his metrics are kind of telling, like he's not the Logan Webb maybe we saw last year. This is a guy who's pitched the most innings in baseball over the last 2 years. He did the World Baseball Classic stuff. And minus 105, you're like, is that a total base number for Harper? No, that's his hits, runs, RBIs. Minus 105 is a good price.
Yeah, I really had to jump at that. And Harper's heating up, obviously. Recently, I think he's cleared this total in 5 of his past 7 games. And then also he has the 407 WOBA against right-handed pitchers. And like you said, Webb's really searching for answers. And there's been some like rumors about the ABS challenge and stuff to sinker ballers and how now opposing hitters are able to lay off those low pitches a little bit easier because they can use the challenge or they don't have to chase. So that's a non-statistical explanation potentially for why he has struggled. He's also battling mechanic issues as well. That's kind of come up, but ultimately he's allowed a 49.1 hard hit rate overall, and left-handed hitters have a 372 WOBA against him. So Harper's already hit a pair of home runs against Webb in his career. He's 4 for 8 as well at the dish. So he's got some familiarity again as well. So yeah, that was one that really jumped out quick. So I was happy to snag the HRR or RHRRBI or whatever, right? So I really like that market too. It's one of my favorites, but
I know, but like usually good hitters in the middle of the order are like minus 140.
Exactly. Yeah.
Minus 105 is a big difference. And then, right, I could tell right away, probably his total bases is probably plus 115, plus 120 if you want even more money on that side. If you can't beat him, join him. That's what I'm doing here. Juan Soto over 1.5 total bases, plus 105. I know you were on the hits, runs, RBIs pretty much all week, and it worked well for you, but he's on an absolute heater right now. You cashed him in back-to-back days. You're going to not touch him today, but I'm happy to pick up your sloppy thirds here. Dingers in back-to-back games, 7 total bases yesterday versus better pitching. And who is he facing today? Maybe the worst pitcher in baseball, certainly on the slate, of Miles Michaelis, who doesn't even have pitching markets because he's not going to pitch long. He had a 4 home run game, and after that, Washington, who has the second worst bullpen in all of baseball, said, you know what? We're happy to eat innings with our bullpen because you might be even worse than them. 51, 61, 58, and 55 pitches over his last 4 games. It's just a terrible spot to do anything and just fade him. Let's go Soto. Who else? We touched on Brett Beatty earlier this week, right? Bo Bichette, leadoff home run 2 games ago. He's someone that you could target if you're looking at the top of that order. Luis Robert, I believe, hit the IL, but Miles Michaelis, he's not going to go long. He's going to get beat up, then hand things over to a bullpen that ranks second worst in expected ERA, second worst in xFIP, third worst home runs per nine, and lots of lefties, but those lefties are not good. Just one lefty in that bullpen of 4 with an ERA below 4. I wanted the Reds yesterday. I needed Ellie. Didn't do anything. So guess what? They're probably going to do something today versus Michael Lorenzen after Sagano haunted me for the second time this year. Reds run line plus 123 from you.
Yeah. And this is more about who framed Roger Rabbit or Andrew Abbott, right? Like he's a solid pitcher who's struggled to start the year, but the Rockies ranked 22nd in WOBA against lefties, strikeout at the second highest rate. So I think Abbott can string together a few solid innings, and there's just serious statistical correction ahead of his 351 BABIP and 63.9 strand rate. And yeah, you mentioned like Michael Rosen. He is a run-of-the-mill righty. He is exactly who he says he is. He's completely average, serviceable innings eater. But, we've seen what he can do since transitioning to a starter in 2022. And that's a 4.20 ERA and a 4.52 xFIP, right? So just very average. So I think the Reds can pile on a few runs, get the bats going, and pull away in that one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the early slate. I mean, the regular suspects are there for the taking if you want to get super square. Alvarez in game 1 versus Bassett. That's getting down now. You have O'Neill Cruz versus a bad pitcher in St. Louis, another angle we took earlier in the week. Cincinnati with Ellie versus Michael Lorenzen. There's another guy who can go deep. Soto versus Michaelis. Those 4 guys, if they all did something big today, wouldn't be surprised. I think I got them all over 1.5 total bases for like plus 850. Nothing
Nice.
crazy. I didn't bet on the Reds today, so you're good there. Thank you, John Metler. I appreciate it. But no, second day theory is in effect with Ellie De La Cruz. Did nothing yesterday versus Sugano. Probably goes off again today. You can only hold him down. But actually really great slate today. And if you're looking for something in the second game in Baltimore, I want a Balasso. I want that catcher for some numbers versus Lance McCullers Jr., who is also a really good target today. And interesting to see how the bullpen works in Houston today, because we touched on how bad that bullpen is. If they get beat up, maybe he has to eat some innings as well. So we'll look to that and look for him to get a home run. But going to be tough to beat a guy who doesn't lose, and that's Neil Parker so far this week. 6-0. He jumps on the show as a guest, and it might be hosting it next week. I appreciate you, pal. Afternoon baseball, nothing better than it. One more round tomorrow. No show. We'll get those plays in, but we'll finish things up tomorrow. Punishments will be sorted out by end of day tomorrow. Josh Ingles, Neil Parker, the Pickoff from Covers. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you back next week, Tuesday, where I can beat up John Metler, hopefully again, because he is a human punching bag.